Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie. It's our Week 18 NFL picks and prediction show. Kind of a sad day for me because the NFL regular season only has 1 week left. We wait so long for this season, and it goes so quick. For some teams, like Brett and I and Idris, the end couldn't come soon enough. It's been a rough season for the three of us, but we love football, and there is a sadness when the regular season ends. But we're going to go out with a bang on this, and Super Wildcard Weekend show is going to be very cool because we're going to split it up into an AFC and NFC show. With me, window one, Mr. Idris Salam, aka Bosco from the Bronx.
Catamounts, baby.
We've got my guy, Mr. Brett Bandick, out in Winter Haven, Florida, via upstate New York. Good to see you, Bretsky. How are you?
Good to be back, baby. I'm ready. Let's roll. It's been a long time since I've been with you guys on the show. Missed a couple weeks. Zappy hooked us up this past weekend. Thank God for him. He put on a good show, too. Let's do this, man. I'm ready to roll.
Let's roll, man.
And where it starts, we have 2 Saturday ball games. The Pittsburgh Steelers facing their biggest rival, the Baltimore Ravens, 9-7, visiting 13-3. Steelers still have a shot at the playoffs. They're going to need some help, though. Mm-hmm. The Ravens have nothing to play for other than sticking it to their division rival. They have everything sewed up. I think it's one of those things where you don't want to lose anybody for a potential playoff game. So I believe, the Ravens treat it like any other game. Maybe give your starters the first quarter, maybe even the second quarter. Second half, bring out some of your backups. Mm-hmm. If the Ravens are as good as we all think they are, they should be able to beat the Steelers regardless of who's playing because they have depth on that team.
Yep.
Now, on the other side of it, the Steelers have their number, not just – they did win the first meeting, but in general, over the course of the last few years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had the numbers of these guys. So I wouldn't consider this an easy game either way, nor would it be. It's a division game. Even if the Steelers should pull off the upset, they still need help. Help from the AFC South. They need a decent amount of help to get in. I personally don't think, no matter what happens, that the Steelers get in. As my prediction goes, I think the Steelers are going to win a cheap one. I think Baltimore, it's going to be like, how for a while, like when Green Bay had those annual 13-win seasons, but if they had home field sewed up, the Lions would get a weird victory in week 17 or now week 18. I think it might be one of those kind of deals where the Steelers barely squeak it. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 24, Baltimore 23. It's going to be a cheapie. I don't think the Ravens are going to push their starters out for the entire game. I really don't. I don't think they should. I don't think they need to. Now, if I'm way off base and if the Ravens start all their people, it'll be a good game. But the Ravens will figure out a way to beat these guys because the Ravens are a better football team.
Yeah.
With the depleted roster if they start benching guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 21-17 Steelers. I think it'll be a snoozer. I think Baltimore go out there and play with, they got a pretty good reserve unit. I mean, they're not just gonna lay all the way down. But it's nothing to gain for Baltimore. I think the Steelers will go out there and play hard, but I still think they need too much help, man, to get into the playoffs. I like to see them in there, but they need a lot of help, man.
I'm okay with not seeing them in there. And it's not because I have anything against them. It has more to do with the fact that I think they would be clogging up a playoff spot if they got in. Because when I think about a Houston team or an Indianapolis team, I think they have more to offer on the eye test of excitement.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I would like to see one of those two get in, if not both of them, because if Jacksonville screws up, they could both get in. Bretsky, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I don't like what I'm hearing from both you guys. This is one of those games. Yeah, dude, this isn't the NBA. This isn't rest your minute. This isn't rest your players for minutes. This is one of those games where This is a division rival game. And not only whether you win or lose, you're going to give this team hope going into the playoffs, a division rival game. You don't want that happening. You don't want that happening. Stomp them into the fucking ground. Push them down. Bury them. Play your freaking starters. Quit being a bitch and play the game.
Damn,
I'm done.
Gretzky.
I'm done with that crap. I'm done with that crap. Like, you remember? Do you remember what the Patriots and Giants did back in 07? Did the Patriots rest their starters going on an undefeated season? No. No.
And the Giants clinched the week before, and they played all their guys too.
Actually, that's more than a hot take.
Yeah, dude, come on. Like, this is a division rival team. Bury them. Bury them. If they win this game against you and they need other things to happen and they get into the playoffs, that just gives them momentum. It gives them hope. You don't want that. Stomp them into the freaking ground. Bury them. Bury them alive. That terrible towel, wipe your ass with it. Go away, Steelers.
All right, so what's your prediction?
I'm going Ravens 30-16 all day, and they're playing their starters.
All right.
He's scratching my neck.
I like it.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, boys. Come on.
I'm glad I did go before him because I couldn't.
Come on, man.
The 9-7 Texans travel to Indy, matching record 9-7. The winner of this game can actually win the division if the Jaguars lose the day after. The loser of this game can be eliminated with a Jaguars loss Sunday. I meant to say win. I will fix that. In the event the Jaguars win, they're going to win the division, which would lead to one of the loser of this game being ousted out. Mm-hmm. But if the Jaguars lose, there is a possibility that even the loser of this game can still get in. That's at least how I view it right now. And like I said, even with a win, the game that we just previously talked about, the Steelers need a little more help. The Jaguars losing isn't out of the question. The Jaguars they did win yesterday against a bad Carolina team. Mm-hmm. They've been struggling. So even a loser here could still sneak it. But that's not the way you want to get in. You want to take care of your own business. Mm-hmm. As the game goes, I feel that what's going to be vital to winning this game is which one of these teams can get the running game going more efficiently. We know what the quarterbacks bring to the table. You know, CJ Stroud has had a pretty cool year. I mean, he's had some ups and downs, but definitely showing his worth. You know, D'Amico Ryan, year one, doing a really good job with these guys. Mm-hmm. Shane Steichen on the other side with the Indianapolis Colts, you lose your quarterback that you draft. Mm-hmm. And now Gardner Minshew is in a position where this could actually be his final opportunity to be a starter for somebody, because the reality is that every year you get more and more kids that come out of college that occupy the quarterback position. So even if you are labeled a quote-unquote backup, a guy who could come in, a guy who could start and win games, a Nick Foles type, let's say. Okay, Nick Foles, good name to use. Jimmy Garoppolo had that title for a while until he finally became a starter. But the point is like, this could be the last shot that Minshew has to really do it. Jacksonville gave up on him in favor of drafting Trevor Lawrence. He's been kicked around. Last year, he was a backup on Philly. When asked to perform, he did. It's been a mixed bag with Minshew. If the Colts, by chance, lose this game, there's a lot of things you could point to as to why they miss. Over the years, the Colts have been notorious for just missing the playoffs at the end. Mm-hmm. It's that Atlanta game. That's the one that I circle. I'm like, that's the one that comes back to bite. I like the Texans.
I do too. Where's this game being played at?
This game is going to be in Indy. I still like the Texans.
Oh man, this has potential for an overtime kind of game.
This could be a high.
Yeah. This game can honestly go either way. I like both running games. I like both defense. I think Houston has a better front seven than Indy does. So I think that's where the game is going to be won. As far as quarterback play between CJ Stroud and Minshew Mustache, I like what CJ's doing, man, but he's still not 100% yet. I don't think he's full throttle ready to go. Man, this is a tough one to pick. You know what? I'm gonna go with the home team. Believe it or not, after all this shit I just said, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 23-20 OT Indy.
I'm going with the home
23-20.
team. I'm going with the home team too. I think CJ's trying to do what he does, but they're playing in Indy. Minshew's playing good. Jonathan Taylor's playing good. The team is playing good. I think they got a better front line. I'm going to go 28-24 Indy. Going to the playoffs.
Nah, it don't sound right.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is going to the playoffs. I do think that this game's going to be high scoring. I could see this thing, to Brett's point, going to OT. It won't go to OT. It will be high scoring. I got the Texans winning this thing 34-26. 34-26, and the difference in the game is going to be that the Minshew man is going to find a couple of white jerseys via the interception, where I think that CJ might just play a cleaner game. I expect a big game out of Devin Singletary, and I'm going to call my little hot take. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have an uncharacteristic rough one when it really matters. 18 carries for under 70 yards. He's going to be frustrated. And I do believe that, there's similar stadiums in terms of indoor value. So I don't think being on the road, it's kind of like what I said about the Lions going to Dallas, that I felt that they wouldn't be worried about the field or anything like that. It's similar to how I feel about this game. A lot of familiarity. It could go either way. If you guys are right, it wouldn't shock me.
But yeah, that's where Zach Moss comes into play, because I think he's already proven himself that he can handle the load without Jonathan Taylor in that lineup. So I think, he's a third down back. He can make the catches out of the backfield. He can block. He's already proven himself. So, I mean, if those two play if they play their cards right and have that correct game plan going against that defense, then yeah, and he's got a good shot at winning this game.
I do agree with a point you just made about Indy having the better front seven, but I don't necessarily believe that Minshew's going to be the guy to undress that secondary the way that, say, Joe Flacco did not too long ago. I just like Houston. I think if it comes close, it's a great coaching matchup. Two first-year head coaches. And the thing is, like I already alluded to, the loser is not necessarily eliminated. That Jacksonville will have say on that. This is the wild thing about this. The winner of this game isn't going to be crowned division champion until the next day if Jacksonville loses. Yeah. So whoever wins this game is going to be watching the Jacksonville game on their couches, hoping that the Titans pull off the upset. And that's what we got going next.
Yeah.
Now, if
this is the home game for Jacksonville, they're losing. So let's consider that a loss already.
This is in Tennessee. Last year, these two teams played for the division title in Week 18 in Duval. Jaguars snuck it out. This year, the Titans can only play spoiler. A Jaguars win gives them the AFC crown, AFC South crown. There is no confusion. There's no complication. A loss could actually put them in jeopardy of making the playoffs if enough things occur. Jacksonville has the tiebreaker over the Colts. They swept them. They split with the Texans. I know it would be cool to come up with all this drama and all these things that could happen. The Tennessee Titans offense is god-awful. Derrick Henry is having the worst year of his professional career. And I just look at Tennessee as a team that, unfortunately, they might be firing head coach Mike Vrabel. In addition to that, they have no idea where they're going at the quarterback position in my eyes. And I think they've got an issue here. I think Jacksonville for the road dub. I'm going to go 26-13. I think Tennessee maybe gets a cheap touchdown late. Derrick Henry's going to be in for a long day once again. I really believe that. And although Jacksonville has their own shares of problems, and I think it might be a quick stay in the playoffs, I got them winning this, solidifying that division. And in my opinion, the loser of the Saturday game is going to be out of the playoffs.
I'm going Tennessee in the upset. I think they're going to play hard for Vrabel because they know this is Vrabel's swan song. Vrabel pretty much, I'm not going to say he pretty much knew this is it for him, but the way he spoke today in his press conference, he knows it's over. And I think they're going to go out there and ball for him. I think Will Levis, if he's playing, I think he's going to play. I think they're going to go out there and ball. I don't think Henry will have a big day, but I think he'll have an effective day. I'm going to go 24-21 in the upset. I just don't have any confidence in Jacksonville. I just don't trust them.
I don't have a lot of confidence in either one of these teams.
Oh, no.
I think I'm leaning towards the one that's just had a better season, but neither one of these teams, Jacksonville looked good about a month ago, but when they started having bodies drop, they're just not the same team. What are your thoughts here?
Oh man, Jacksonville's a better road team. Tennessee is on the downslope of a good draft actually, but they're just on a downslope of their season, big downslope. I don't like the way I don't like what Tennessee's doing. Their game plan sucks. Their way to dish out the ball to DeAndre Hopkins sucks. What they've done with Derrick Henry sucks. Will Levis getting hurt, that definitely doesn't help. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville as much as I don't want to. I want the upset to happen. But I'm still gonna go with a better road team here. I'm gonna go 27-17 Jacksonville on the road. I think ETN is going to have a big day. I think Lawrence is going to maybe throw one pick, but it's not going to be a game changer. But I still think Jacksonville comes out on top of this, no doubt.
Reason also why I like Jacksonville to win this game: embattled coach versus a guy who has been fired by a different organization, but a guy who was a former quarterback himself, Doug Peterson, one of the better coaches in the league, in my opinion, despite his team's recent struggles. I mean, Jacksonville's issues truly have been the injury bug. But I don't think that Tennessee could exploit the issues. I do think that the team that they're going to play in round one is going to exploit that and then some. But before we hit on that, I want to talk about some of our less notables. The reason why I put these games as less notables are for two reasons. Mm-hmm. They either don't have playoff implications or playoff teams that don't have anything to play for, with the exception of the Kansas City Chiefs. But when you're playing the depleted Chargers, they belong on this list. This is my less notables. There is one game that's going to come off the page, and I'm going to start with Brett on this. This potentially could be the final head coaching start for Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots, potentially. And it just makes all the sense in the world that it would be against the New York Jets, a team that he has had the upper hand on and gave them the salute on the way out after being their coach for less than a day, maybe a full day. I'm just going to roll over my predictions, and then I want Brett to hit on his game, and then we're going to just discuss if anybody doesn't like what I put here. Patriots by 6 over the Jets in the Burrow. The Patriots, when you really look at this season and play it back, I feel like they have been very competitive despite the issues at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. Bailey Zappi, at minimum, I think is proving that he belongs as a backup quarterback. The Patriots may be addressing who's going to start for them in the offseason, possibly via the draft, possibly via free agency. As the Jets go, These are two teams that possess very good defenses. The difference is the Patriots have a little more working for them on offense right now. Ezekiel Elliott showing a lot of confidence, playing hard. And one thing that I got to give the Patriots credit for is that in a lost season, this team hasn't lost this many games. You got to go all the way back, I believe, to I think like 90s, late 90s, I believe.
Yeah. Well, 98, 99, something
might have been Belichick's first season.
Yeah.
But the point is, they're not used to losing like this. You have some very talented people that are going to be coming back, not to mention a very vital draft. The question is, will Belichick be drafting these guys? I don't know yet. We're going to find out. Raiders by a ton over the Broncos. Jarrett Stidham plays one of his former teams. We know the Russell Wilson drama. The Broncos are just trying to get out of here and get it done with. Raiders are still playing hard. They win it easy. Reason I got the 49ers winning by that amount, Carson Wentz getting the start. So he will not be joining our show this week. Rams are playing it safe. I also think the Niners are going to play it safe, but the Niners got a better football team. And even if you go to recent history, the Niners have had their number. Rams are a solid wild card that could still do some damage in the playoffs. But for this week, I like the Niners at home. Cards and Seahawks. Cardinals, man. Zappy made a good point to me the other day. I think it was Zappy. If Kyler Murray would have played the majority of the season, this team's fate may have been different. They've been competitive.
Yep.
They got two significant wins over the NFC East, the Cowboys, Eagles. They had the Giants down by 20. It took a miraculous comeback for the Giants to beat them. Cardinals in year 2 with Jonathan Gannon are going to be going in good place. As the Seahawks go, I think they're regressing. Their loss is going to set up the table for what I think will be a Green Bay playoff snag. Chiefs, unmotivated, could probably walk through this like it's a walkthrough. I got them over the Chargers by 16 points, and the Vikings are miserable on offense. Knicks beat the Bulls by 16, boys. The Lions and Vikings, completely different trajectories. The Lions, a lot of people feel should have won that Dallas game. And the reason why the Lions got to play it through is because they do have a chance to jump the Dallas Cowboys if somehow the Cowboys stumble in Washington, which is unlikely. But the reason I put it as a less notable is because after what I saw the Vikings put on the field on Sunday Night Football, they are toast. They are cooked. Just giving you the backstory on everything I said. Brett, start wherever you want, but I know you want to talk about your Pats, so if you want to start there, have at it.
I do. Listen, this is potentially a last game for Billy Bells and Foxborough. Potentially. I don't know. There's nothing guaranteed. But it could possibly be his last game in Foxborough against the Gang Green. And we are currently 18 out of 19 wins against them. We won the first game of the season against them in the Meadowlands. I like our chances this time around. I think I think our defense is still playing solid even without Judon and Christian Gonzalez in that lineup. And I like the way Zappy is throwing the ball. He's taking chances down the field, which we never saw Mac Jones take. So I don't care if this freaking guy throws 4 picks a game. If he's taking 40-yard, 50-yard shots down the field, hell yes. That's what I want to see. I want to see our offense taking chances, trying to make something happen, trying to make a big play. I don't care. Throw the ball 50 times, Zappy. Throw it away. Throw it away. I don't care. As long as we're making an effort, we're taking shots. Like I love seeing that kind of football. At least I know he's trying. As far as Belichick goes, I honestly don't know. I don't want him to see leave. I want him to stay in New England. I want him to stay in Foxborough. He's a legend. I I don't know, the next chapter on his book. But I'm gonna keep the bookmark on this page for now. So let's just let it ride, see what happens. As far as was it the Raiders, Broncos? Yeah, the Russell Wilson saga continues. Let the Raiders win. I don't care. Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to almost the same score. I'm going to say 31-16. And you said the Niners are benching their starters, right? I don't even think they're playing them.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be filtering in a decent amount of backups, but they're a very deep team.
Yeah, and McCaffrey, I don't think is going to play. He got hurt.
Carson Wentz, who hasn't made a start, and I don't even remember.
Yeah, and McCaffrey got a little banged up his last time out. Yeah, so I don't think that game really matters.
If this was the kind of where the Rams needed to make it, I think the Niners would be playing all their starters, but the Rams are already in regardless.
Yeah,
they're in. Cardinals, Seahawks. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Zappy on this one. I mean, they beat Dallas. I think it was week 4. They're one of those track teams that you can kind of rely on. When there's something on the line. But they play against these teams hard, man. So I wouldn't count the Cardinals out. Well, yeah, I lied. They're out. But against the Seahawks, they can get this. They can definitely get the Seahawks for sure.
Desperation out of the Seahawks. They lost last week to Pittsburgh. They needed to win.
Yeah.
And Green Bay plays Chicago. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the point is, I just don't see the Seattle Seahawks in a good place right now.
No, they are. They are. As far as the Chiefs, they still worry me. Yes, they are AFC West champs. I just don't like the way that organization is going right now. I went on a rant a couple weeks ago about Kelsey and Tate, and that hasn't changed.
No.
He needs to break up with this broad, okay? This broad is ruining his football career. He's probably going to retire after this year. The guy's 34 years old. He's probably going to want to lay down and get married, yada, yada, yada. It breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart because he's a Hall of Famer, and this woman is tainting his Hall of Fame legacy. This is what girls do to him, and I can't stand it. I hate watching it. The guy, he needs
should have been on casual convo tonight.
Dump the broad, dump her. I get it. She's made millions of dollars. She's got her own airplane. I get it. But you're the defending champs. You need to live up to the reputation. You're going into the playoffs, and right now, I don't like what I see out of the Chiefs. Everybody's dropping balls. Like Mahomes is pissed off. Kelsey's pissed off. He's throwing his helmet everywhere. I hate it.
It's the bourbon.
I've enjoyed every bit of this. I'm tired of
it. I hate it.
You still got one more game. What's your score though? What's your score?
I'm taking the Chargers in this one. They're going to beat the Chiefs. They're going to beat the Chiefs 20-19.
Brad, come on. No, they're not.
They're going to beat the Chiefs 20-19.
You should have kept the bourbon in the red cup.
Eckler is going to have a good day.
No, he's not.
You were on a roll till you said
you were on a roll. Now you're an inch away from getting muted.
Now you were right back. Okay, what's your last?
All right.
Okay, we got the last game. What you got?
Let's see. Yeah, I agree with Richie. Vikings are a shit show. Lions are going to absolutely destroy him. Probably the same score. I'd say 35-10, 33-10. Lions all day long. They're pissed from losing last week against the Cowboys. They're gonna put a show on against the Vikings. They're gonna humiliate him. 100% agree.
We'll have a shot at the 2 seed. Idris, anything you want to add before we move it over to Cincinnati?
I agree with everything y'all said, except for I got the Chiefs beating the Chargers. I think the Vikings will score 10. Yeah, I'm with everything else. Yeah, basically.
All right, moving it along to a team that is playoff bound and a team that is not used to missing the playoffs lately. We've got the Cleveland Browns making a trip to a place where they play very good, Cincinnati, 8-8 Bengals. Bengals were eliminated from playoff contention last week, losing to the Chiefs. The Browns are looking at the 5 seed, which means they're going to get the winner of the South. So in the event that Jacksonville wins the division, sayonara Jaguars in round 1, because I think this Browns team is clicking on all cylinders. This Browns team is the kind of team that you don't want to play if you're like the 1 seed and that's the first team you got to look at. And guess who's the 1 seed, boys? The Ravens. And they got to look at the city they left, built their own thing, won a Super Bowl, won another Super Bowl. Watch the Browns come back into existence, draft a quarterback, sign a quarterback, draft a quarterback, draft another quarterback. They finally got one by accident. It wasn't Deshaun Watson. It wasn't Baker Mayfield before him. It wasn't Jacoby Brissett. It wasn't that guy with 2 last names. It is Joe Flacco, father of 5, off the couch, dust him off. They put that artifact behind center and let him rip. I'm proud of this Browns team, and I'm not a Browns fan, but you got to be proud of anybody that digs deep when things go wrong and don't look for excuses. They're not pointing at this guy. They're not pointing at that guy. Oh, feel bad for us. They're like, fuck that. We're here to win ball games. We play stingy defense. Nick Chubb's gone for the year. Enter Ford. Bring back Kareem Hunt wearing a Nick Chubb jersey. Yeah. Joe Flacco is the 4th friggin' quarterback that they've had this year. Kevin Stefanski deserves to be coach of the year. By the way, the Bengals, I want to give a shout out to Jake Browning because he's going to be a prize in the offseason.
Yeah.
If the Burrow injury would have happened a couple of weeks earlier, I actually think they still might have been all right. Yeah. This is a good football team that got hit with some hard luck. They're going to be drafting right in the middle, but it will not be a long playoff drought for the Bengals. They'll be back next year with Burrow under center. They do have some things they got to figure out, though. Some monies that they got to allocate and figure out who's who because they got to make a decision between T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Zappy has a strong theory about that he shared with me. I kind of differ from him, but it's a good conversation and one that we're going to have in the offseason. But this Browns team, I'm telling you right now, the matchup I want to see in round 2 is the Browns going to Baltimore. That's when you're going to start hearing the whispers. Lamar Jackson only has 1 playoff win. The pressure will be immense on Baltimore to not lose that game. And guess what, boys? Baltimore lost that game in Baltimore this year already.
You know what? The thing about it is Cleveland has that defense. They got a top 5 defense, maybe top 3 defense. And for everything, the running backs, they're good on that. And also, you figure Joe Flacco, he's not going to lose you the game. He's not going to lose you the game. That's what's going to make that Cleveland team tough. He's not going to lose. He's been there. I mean, he's been there. He's been in the playoff. He's been in a championship. He won a championship. He's been there. He knows. And if they go to Baltimore, he goes against the guy who they sat him to put in midway through the season. He goes back to the place where he won that title, that one title.
Goes back to his former team.
His former team in his former town. The one that said, we don't want you no more. We got Lamar.
There's so many storylines with this. I love it.
He goes in that building and he beats them.
The teacher versus the pupil. Lamar versus Flacco.
If he beats Lamar.
Then Lamar.
Yeah.
Another thing too. That
the
whole Lamar contract thing, which Brett was going on tangents about how unfair it was, and he's right. Watson got the money.
Worst contract in history.
For Lamar. Lamar eventually got a contract that he felt good about. Man, oh man. As this game goes, Cleveland Browns, I'm going to go Browns by 10. I got them winning this thing. I'm going to go 30-20 on the road. Bengals have already pretty much mailed it.
You know, I want to go with Cleveland, but the reason I'm going with Cincinnati because Cleveland's in the playoffs.
Indeed.
They have nothing else to game. And I don't think they're going to go all out because I don't think their position changes much regardless.
No, they're 5. They're locked
in. Yeah, so I mean,
there's no reason to
know the dogs out there. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati on this one because of that, because they don't have nothing to gain. They had nothing to lose except for players. So I'm going to go 24-18 Cincinnati because I don't know who's going to play. I don't know if it's going to be the guy with 2 names or I don't know who.
I'll tell you the truth. I think that Cleveland's going to treat this as business as usual because of the fact that they will be playing the very next week. I think they need to be clicking.
I think they'll play. But I don't think they'll go 4 quarters starters.
I want that game so bad. I want that game so bad in round 2. I think that might be the game of the playoffs.
I want to see that in the I want to see that in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, I'll tell you one person that's happy is our cheddar in the Sun League champion, Mr. Dom. Not only did he win this past weekend, but he also is a Cleveland Browns fan. So he is super happy for those Browns to be at number 5 at this point.
If Cleveland won it all, I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad either. Like guys, we talked about this in the AFC North preview of the kind of defense that Cleveland has and how they have a championship caliber defense, and it's shown. They're going to continue that. They're going to beat Cincinnati, no questions in my mind. I think Cincinnati will actually keep it competitive, at least for the first 2.5 quarters.
They're going to be resting starters, but the thing is, the Bengals don't have anything to play for.
Yeah.
Either. I don't. Yeah. I still like the Browns, regardless.
Yeah, I still like the Browns. 27-17. Shane Falco is going to go into the playoffs ablazing. Falco. No, I like the Browns. I like the Browns. No, all day. And Richie, I like what you said about them potentially going into Baltimore the second round. Ooh, I can't wait for that matchup. I want that matchup to happen, man. I want to see that. I want to see that all day. All this talk about Lamar being MVP, and he's proven himself, especially this past week when he put up how many yards and how many points. I think he's proven himself worthy of the NFL MVP this year. But MVP awards don't mean shit unless you get that ring.
Right.
Got to get that ring. Got to get that ring. This don't mean shit unless you get those playoff wins and you get that championship ring.
Well, they've got the road goes through Baltimore this year. We'll see iconic franchises going head to head. The Green Bay Packers, what they have to gain is the 7th spot in the NFC playoffs. 8-8, hosting 7-9 Chicago. Short and sweet. I think both offenses are going to open this thing up, but I think Green Bay wins a shootout. I got the Packers winning this thing 36-27. I think both these offenses are going to open it up this week. I don't think it's going to be the defensive variety. I think Jordan Love is going to have potentially his best game as a pro. I think the difference is Justin Fields might throw a couple of picks. I trust Green Bay's defense a little more than Chicago's, not much more, because they're dinged up in their own right. And I don't want people to get mixed up with what Green Bay did in Minnesota. That was a depleted Vikings situation. But I think the Packers are a better team than the Bears. They beat them in week 1, and they're going to beat them in week 18. And they will be headed more than likely to Dallas. That could be an interesting matchup as well. But, I got the Packers for the win.
I'm going okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite route. I don't see this being a offensive juggernaut on either end. There's another cold front coming through up north this coming up weekend, and I don't see a lot of high scoring points. I think it's going to be a struggle. I think there's going to be a lot of turnovers, a lot of mistakes. Bears have the chance to, knock the Packers out of playoff contention, and they're gonna do it. I'm gonna go Bears. I'm gonna go Bears 21-19.
I'm going 30-24 Packers. I don't think the weather's gonna be much of a problem because we've seen how Chicago did last week in the snow. They balled out. They put up some points, and they were having fun out there too. So I'm gonna go 30-24. Still 30-24 Green Bay though. I think they'll pull it off. I want to see that first round matchup between them and Dallas because that's always a good matchup. And Green Bay always beats Dallas in Dallas. So, and that'll
There
make
you
it
go.
so.
There you go. The Dallas hater comes out. Got it.
Yes, it has to.
Got it.
I think Richie's looking at Jen through his camera.
I don't know what's happening over here.
Out of the way.
You got a surveillance
drama. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will beat the Panthers. Saints sit down.
Yeah.
You need the Panthers to beat the Bucs. Sorry, guys. Great job last week, but that ain't gonna happen.
It's in Tampa, right?
The damn if they're playing on the moon. They're not beating.
Tampa's going. Tampa's going.
Got shut out by Jacksonville in Duval.
Yeah, Tampa's going to beat them.
Yeah.
And let me before you go.
Now, if this thing goes, and the thing is, with the Saints, this is interesting. The Packers have a tiebreaker over the Saints.
Yep.
But if the Saints win, no. Wait a minute. Would that even matter? The Saints might be able to drive it in.
Yeah.
Packers falling out. That ain't gonna happen either. No.
Let me speak on Carolina for a second.
Do you have to?
Not really.
Yeah. Do we?
Do we? You know that franchise, they had Jerry Richardson, who was a knucklehead, but I give him credit. Jerry Richardson brought in the players. They fired Riverboat Ron.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Matt Rule, fired him at the year and a half, which I don't know why they hired him in the first place. You had Steve Wilkes, who had that team playing, but you get rid of Steve Wilkes, you get rid of Ben McAdoo, who was a good offensive coordinator for them. You bring in your boy, Frank Wright.
Frank Wright, yeah.
Through the season,
they're horrible. They're like the Cardinals. They don't stick with a coach for more than 2 years.
The owner throws freaking water on the fans. He gets fined $300,000. That franchise is screwed up. Bryce Young, I see him. He has potential. He's getting better. I know. I've been watching him. It's going to take a while for him to get together because I don't know what coach is going to go want to work for that owner when he doesn't even give you a full season to do anything. He doesn't give anyone 2 seasons. He's had Riverboat Ron, who's doing okay. You had Steve Wilkes, who had that team playing last year.
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah.
Freaking Ben McAdoo had Sam Darnold look like the quarterback he's supposed to be, but you get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
So, I had no pity for him though. I'm here in Carolina.
I mean, did I hear something right about the Carolina owner getting fined by some fan because he threw a drink at him or something? Did I see that right?
Yeah, he was in the box and threw it out there.
Just spend about 90 seconds speaking about that.
Yeah.
Even his little hockey team.
You're the Brooklyn Nets. What would you do?
He's a knucklehead.
What would you do, Zappy?
He's a knucklehead.
All right. The Dallas Cowboys, speaking of Mike Zappy, heading to the nation's capital to take on the 4-12 Washington Commanders. Speaking of Riverboat, this is going to be his final game with the Commanders. The Cowboys clinched the 2 seed with a win. It should come with minimal difficulty because of the fact that the Washington Commanders literally have the worst offensive line in pro football. This is going to be ugly. It's going to be big. 41 Cowboys, 20 Commanders. That's it. That's all I have. There's going to be a party in the backfield. It don't matter who's behind center. Whoever the hell it is, they're going to be on the ground quite a bit. There is potential with this Commanders team in years coming. And the guy in New England, this could be one of his potential destinations if they don't transition Bieniemy to the head coaching spot. But Belichick and Bieniemy together could be very devastating. Dallas by a ton.
I got it.
38-20 Dallas. I think they'll sack whoever's back there, Brissett or Sam Howell. I think they'll drop them out 5 or 6 times. By halftime, they'll drop them 5 or 6 times. They'll lock up the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Riverboat Ron won't get on the bus. And that'd be
I can't believe you guys have these Commanders / Redskins / Foreskins putting up 20 points. Like it's going to be like 38. It's going to be like 38-10. 38-10 final score Cowboys.
Garbage points that don't mean nothing. They'll get to 20. The Philadelphia Eagles traveling to East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. If the Arizona Cardinals didn't win last week, this would have a little more juice because the Giants would be in a position to really screw the Eagles. The only way that this would consider to be a grand screwing would be if the Cowboys somehow lost, which we both know, all three of us, I should say, that ain't happening. The first meeting, Tyrod Taylor, second half, gave the Giants an opportunity to win. He gave them an opportunity to win last week against the Los Angeles Rams. Tommy DeVito played half that game. The Eagles have been slowly sliding out of pretty much what they look like. Idris said it on the most recent show. He said that they are this year's Minnesota Vikings, a very fortunate team that won a lot of close football games. And to be honest, in the second half of the year, particularly this final month, they look very suspect in that secondary. Even offensively, they've been struggling. As a fan, I want to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan, I actually think they might win this game. But as a fan, I'm worried that we'll win this game. Because right now, you can't ask for a better draft position at 5. And in a lost season, do you really want to have the to fall back to possibly 8 or 9 or something like that over a 3-hour game against a team that's going to probably be eliminated the next week anyway? Having said that, we don't do anything easy. New York Giants 27, Philadelphia Eagles 23, and fucking Philly. I want to win this game.
Let me be.
I knew it. I knew it.
Hey, wait. Fuck you, Philly.
All the frustration of a horrible season they're gonna look like a football team for 3 hours on Sunday.
This is the one time I wish we could maintain this number 5 position because we probably got a good choice of quarterbacks. Even a linebacker. I mean, offensive lineman. We maybe we got a good spot.
Dude, if you're in the top 10 and you don't get it right, that's your fault. I don't care if you're 8 or 5. You're supposed to draft a great player.
The reason I want to beat Philly this year because of that bullshit stunt they pulled 2 years ago. What I want to happen, I want Washington to beat Dallas. Not because I hate Dallas. No, listen. This is
it's exactly because
no. Listen to the scenario.
Come on.
No. Listen. Listen to the scenario I want. I want Washington to upset Dallas.
So that way we could actually stick the Eagles.
And so we could stick Philly.
But it ain't happening.
Now Dallas win, okay. I still want to be, but I want us to stick Philly the way they stuck us 2 years ago.
Well, this is the way I look at it.
This is not a Dallas hater thing right here. I expect Dallas to bust.
I know Washington. The Giants. The Giants are going to make sure that scoreboard's on for those assholes. Yeah. And when Dallas wins that game, they'll probably, have something that, says that Dallas just won the division, and then you beat them anyway. So it's like the double insult. But no.
I expect Dallas to bust that ass. I expect Dallas to blast them out the water. But I want them to lose because I want us to have that shot.
Yeah, and I wanted us to I wanted us to get a yard against the Jets, and I wanted Tyrod not to call an audible, and I wanted Dable not to go for 2, and I wanted Mason Crosby not to kick it sideways back to the other side of New York. But the bottom line is that
wouldn't even a 30-yard field goal.
Lose games, and we've been making a habit of that shit this year. The frustrating thing,
28-24.
Those winnable games that we speak about often in our little rants with each other. Yeah. The Bills, the Jets, the Rams. Let's just say hypothetically, we don't screw those 3 games up in integral moments. Who's going to the playoffs? Possibly the Green Bay Packers. We had a tiebreaker over those bastards if we would have just took care of our business.
Had to beat them. 28-24 Giants.
Don't
go to hell, Philly.
Go to the draft. Bretsky, come on.
Man, what are we going to talk about after football season? Listen, this is the final week of the season. It's been a pleasure with you boys. I just wish somebody would keep track of our predictions and see, who's the leader in our prediction poll. The thing that gets me is that Philly stopped running the ball like week 4. You know what I mean? Like, definitely. You know what I mean? Like, why? They have the best offensive line in the league. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing. I love the enthusiasm, boys. And
Big Don
And
got fired.
And I'm going to stick with that enthusiasm. I'm going G-Men 30-26 for the dub. I'm doing it. Stick it to them, boys.
All right.
Sirianni gets fired too.
Yeah. Sirianni, enough of that bum. If you could fire Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl, what the hell makes you keep Nick?
Yeah, I'm going with the G-Men all day, baby. Final game of the year.
Nick Foles, who was Big Dick Nick, now they just got Nick the Dick.
There ain't gonna be no Miracle in the Meadowlands this year. There ain't no Sean Jackson. Fuck that shit. G-Men all day, baby. 30-26.
Not a hater pick. The only reason I want y'all to lose is because I want to have a chance for us to stick it to Philly. This is the one time I'm sincere.
The God's honest truth, though, by winning this game, if we do, we're actually sticking it to ourselves a little bit. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Buffalo Bills, game of the
we
week.
got another game. Dang.
The most important game of the week. Traveling to Miami. I'm going to just get into why Miami's going to lose this game. I'll tell you right now. Tyreek Hill's house was on fire today. Bradley Chubb is injured.
Gone.
Jalen Waddle is dinged up. Yep. And it goes back to that.
Most of this questionable.
Yeah, Mostert's banged up too. And it goes back to that questionable loss where they fell asleep at the wheel against the Tennessee Titans. Mike McDaniel's saying all the right things to the media, but this team is in big trouble. And you got to take into account the Buffalo Bills, who historically, even when they beat the Patriots in the Josh Allen era, never do it in a sexy manner. The Patriots played the Bills rather well. Josh Allen had a frustrating game. The only reason why it wasn't more frustrating is because his defense really came through for him, and they won the game. This is the week that Josh Allen shines on the road, puts it away early, and it's frustrating. It's going to be frustrating for Miami because when you check the standings about a month ago, it looked like Miami had it more or less penciled in.
It was done.
And when the Bills lost that Eagle game, everybody was ready to write off the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo improves to 11-5, season sweep of the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo 34, Miami 23, convincing victory in Miami. And guess what this sets up? Brett said this before about how Miami is screwed if they got to go on the road in cold weather. Number 3 KC will be hosting number 6 Miami. And it's going to be a short stay in the playoffs for Mike McDaniel's guys. And guess what that sets up? Next year, Mike McDaniel's going to be on the hot seat.
Yep.
And, as you complain about Kansas City's offensive woes, they still have a very good defense. And Steve Spagnuolo still knows how to call a great game on that side. I think it's just maybe smoke and mirrors. I don't think this means the Chiefs are going to do anything past that. Buffalo for the win in a big way. Not as big as the first time around. But Buffalo is another one of those wild cards. Well, Dallas should be the division winner now. Let's see. That would set up Buffalo to be the number 2 seed. This is wild. You could crash all the way down from 2 to 6. Buffalo could crash all the way up to 2. And that would set up who would Buffalo get in round 1? Not the Browns.
No, they'll get the winner.
They might get one of the leftovers from the South. It might be the Texans or the Colts who they get.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be – Super Bowl weekend is going to be a lot of fun. Boys, your predictions.
You get
You want me to go? All right. No, I'm going. Same thing, Rich. I agree with you. I'm going Buffalo on this one. As of right now, this is playoff time for them. They have to win. It's playoff football from here on out. I see them coming up big. I think this Stephon Diggs is finally going to have a 100-yard game. He's going to have at least 1 touchdown in this. He's going to finally come through for this team and get them into the playoffs, into the right spot. With momentum, I got them winning 34-20. Buffalo all day.
I'm going 40-23 Buffalo. No Bradley Chubb coming off the edge. James Cook is going to have a field day. Josh Allen's going to have a field day. And Stephon Diggs is going to be running crazy.
You know what gets me mad? I wish this game would have happened last week as opposed to this one. This game happened last week. Josh Allen might be putting the Lamar Jackson performance on that I needed from him.
Because you know what? With no Bradley Chubb coming off that left end, they're gonna kill Miami.
They're gonna feast. They're gonna feast all day.
All day. I think they're gonna put it away early, and they're gonna make Miami throw. and they're gonna sit back and cover and say, okay, we got you. 40-23 Buffalo.
No, this is a big game, and I think Miami is on the downslope. I don't know what it is about. I don't know what it is about McDaniels. He's just I can't stand him. I can't stand him as a coach. Like the glasses, the cockiness, everything about him. Like they're going down.
Like the same height and the same build.
Yeah, I know, but no, they're going down. Listen, we talked about this a long time ago, guys. Like if Miami were to get a top seed, then it would have to go through Miami. Then yeah, they have a really good shot at making the big dance. But if they have to go on the road up north against any of these teams, no, they're not going anywhere. They're not going past the second round.
About this, look at the teams they got to go. There's nothing but cold weather teams unless Indianapolis wins or Jacksonville. But after that, KC's cold, Buffalo's cold,
but
Cleveland's cold.
To be the prospect of having finally the Bills get the Chiefs in their house as opposed to always having to go to Arrowhead. They beat them in Arrowhead earlier.
Yeah.
And Cleveland and Baltimore, that could be your round 2.
Mm-hmm.
And just to let the viewers know, Derek Carr has improved, but sit down Saints. Listen, I'm not shitting on the NFC South. It's just that when you're playing Carolina and when you're the Saints, you need Carolina to do you a favor to get in. It's unfortunate because I'll be honest, the Saints might be a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, but it doesn't matter because the Bucs have that tiebreaker that they need.
I agree.
I really see the
fortunate because I'll be honest with you. When I think about who matches up better with the Eagles, actually, it might be Tampa because of the fact that can stretch it out. Whereas the Saints offense, I mean, Derek Carr has been playing a lot better.
He doesn't have those guys vertical like Baker has. Baker has Godwin and Evans.
The substitute teacher that nobody wants in their classroom.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like, man. He looks like he's at your computer, man. I'm telling you.
Listen, before we go, boys, I want to say thank you to my beautiful wife for setting this up behind me. She put some time into hanging up my Patriots logos and my posters over here. So I want to say thank you to Miss Brenda Ball-Bandick for taking the time to help me out here. So she's gone above and beyond to help her husband out for the show.
Can't see me through the little flex. Gotta move back.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It was good though, for real. I like that you said it was metal rather than just plastic.
This is from our commissioner, Mr. John Olson himself. Straight metal. Brought this into Disney Springs to my job. Had to bring it through security. You know what I mean? And it's sharp as shit. Like you can literally cut yourself on it. So it's on the wall. It's there. It ain't going nowhere.
Only thing you need now is to get the camera and be like, it's in the game.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm joking, man.
It's in the game.
Get the Spygate.
They were like, why is Kyler Murray play so much Call of Duty? I was like, oh, he wasn't the first one to play it. It was actually Belichick.
No, he's another one that got humbled too. Just like what did.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you this. Mm-hmm. That red hat, bring it down, Brett. Show the people the logo. The old school Pat. Yeah. I'll be honest. One of the best throwbacks, nicest throwbacks in the league. It's up there probably with the Kelly Green from those douchebags in Philly. It is a nice looking uniform, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And nice, the powder blue from the Chargers is pretty beautiful.
The throwbacks over here, baby.
The point is, Brett, will the Patriots ever go back to that at some juncture or another now that they are out of the Brady era?
100%. Yeah, they will. Yeah.
And are you okay with it, or you're like still kind of weirded out with that, feeling like they're cursed in the red?
I'm okay with the old school logo. I just don't like the Reds.
Well, they're coming together.
I don't like the Reds. I know. I hate the Reds, man. I hate the Reds. I don't like it.
Both of them right there, they didn't change the helmet.
They are definitely a package deal. I myself would love to see the New York Giants go back to the legacy threads as their full-time look. We'll see, man.
They were tougher looking, man. They look like,
Good show, boys. just to let the viewers know, AFC, NFC, Super Wildcard Weekend, split in 2 shows coming up. Other announcements to come. We out.